Recently, Alexander Zverev has been facing great backlash after partying in Monaco this past weekend. The reason for the outrage is that Zverev previously issued an apology for his involvement in the Adria Tour, saying that he will follow self-isolating guidelines. Saying that he was exposed to multiple coronavirus positive players, one would think that Alex would self-isolate for 14 days to not put others at harm, but he obviously didn't do that. This upset many people, including Australian Nick Kyrgios, who called Alex's actions selfish.
I see more controversial things happening all over the world, but one that stuck out for me was seeing Sasha Zverev again, man. Again. How selfish can you be? How selfish can you be? I mean, if you have the audacity to fucking put out a tweet that you made your management write on your behalf saying you're going to self-isolate for 14 days and apologizing to fucking general public of putting their health at risk, at least have the audacity to stay inside for 14 days. My God. Have your girlfriend with you for fucking 14 days. Jesus, man. Pissing me off. This tennis world's pissing me off, seriously. How selfish can you all get?
Now, I and many people agree fully with Nick's criticisms because he simply spoke nothing but facts. It was selfish, irresponsible, and hypocritical of Zverev to do what he did, and he deserves to be called out for it. Side note, I know many of you in my previous video said that Nick was recording the video while driving, as it certainly seemed like that was the case. If he did do this, he should be called out for putting others at risk like he did Zverev, but that's a whole other discussion for a whole other video. Of course, there are people who disagree with Kyrgios' statements, six-time major champion Boris Becker being one of them. Becker took to Twitter to call out the Aussie, first tweeting, "Don't like no rats. Anybody telling our fellow sportsman/woman is no friend of mine. Look yourself in the mirror and think you're better than us." In response to this, Nick tweeted, "For goodness sake, Boris, I'm not competing or trying to throw anyone under the bus. It's a global pandemic, and if someone is as idiotic as Alex to do what he has done, I'll call him out for it. Simple." Boris then tweeted, "We all live in a pandemic called COVID-19. It's terrible, and it killed too many lives. We should protect our families and loved ones and follow the guidelines, but I still don't like rats." Nick soon after replied, "Rats? For holding someone accountable? Strange way to think of it, champion. I'm just looking out for people. When my family and families all over the world have respectfully done the right thing, and you have a goose waving his arms around, I'ma say something." The Aussie then doubled down saying, "Boris Becker is a bigger donut than I thought. Can hit a volley, obviously not the sharpest tool in the shed though." Boris responded to this replying, "You funny guy, how is it down under? Respect all the guidelines?" Kyrgios replied, "Haha, nah bro, I'm good. Don't act like you're my friend now because you got sat down." In a standalone tweet, Boris said, "There is an unspoken understanding between athletes. Whatever happens on the court stays there, including the lockers. Nobody will talk about it." Twitter user Kim Christensen explained to Boris that this has nothing to do with what happens on a tennis court because this is real life and people are dying. Boris though later tweeted, "I really would like to see Nick Kyrgios fulfill his potential and win a Grand Slam. He will be an incredible role model for the youth of the world, addressing the issues of equality, race, and heritage. Man up, buddy, and deliver." Finally, to end this back and forth, Nick said, "Why are you now talking about tennis? It has nothing to do with tennis. How about the dude who you are defending mans up and gives us some type of explanation, not another average management apology?" I'm not surprised that Boris is sticking up for Zverev like this, because in addition to being his compatriot and friend, he's shown great interest in mentoring and coaching the 23-year-old. However, Becker doesn't agree with what Alex did, as he tweeted, "Alex Zverev broke the quarantine rules and he should be ashamed of himself. He is a role model for many tennis fans, a bright star on the horizon, but I still don't like rats." Becker practically clarified why he called Nick a rat, which is due to the fact that Nick called out Zverev publicly rather than in private. People, including Twitter user Scott Barclay, called Becker out for his hypocrisy, as he himself criticized Kyrgios publicly on Twitter. I understand where Boris is coming from and that Nick could have said what he felt in private to Alex, but the German's lack of caution himself made this a public manner and opens himself up to public criticism, even by those with large platforms. Nick has always been outspoken against those acting irresponsibly during the pandemic, which I have no problem with and support. People criticize his boldness, saying that he shouldn't be talking poorly about legends in the game, especially with his previously poor on-court behavior. Those with this mindset miss the entire point, and that what Nick has done on the court has absolutely nothing to do with this current situation. I do hope that Boris and people who think similarly man up and correctly hold people accountable during these circumstances, rather than deflect to irrelevant things. What do you think about this Kyrgios-Becker back and forth? Do you agree with Kyrgios' boldness, or do you side with Becker and believe that he should have kept things private? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below, and subscribe and click the notification bell so you're notified when we post new developments on this situation. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time here on Grand Slam Tennis News Today.